Well, squatters, we have seen Floyd, the MKP Secretary General, tiptoeing on the issue of Duduzile Zuma, on the issue of discipline and all of that. And now, let's get into business with this issue. MKP had a media briefing yesterday, and well, everything seems to be going very well until we get to the issue of Duduzile Zuma. They are saying no one will be spared when it comes to discipline, even if it means, getting rid of certain members who are not disciplined and all of that. But here's my argument. You can't say you're going to discipline someone like Duduzile Zuma. In actual fact, yes, correctly so, they can't discipline her. Because remember, in the MKP, there's two camps there. There's Duduzile camp, which believes that they have actually been there on the ground in the inception, during the inception of that political party with Msholozi, and therefore they are loyalists. No one should touch them. And there's Floyd Shivambu's camp, which were actually parachuted into leadership positions. Yes, in politics, by the way, honestly speaking, we should not be having people who are appointed, but we should be having people who are elected to become members, or to hold senior positions in a political party. Now the argument of Duduzile comes with her saying these people have been parachuted into leadership positions. They were not elected. By the way, maybe if there was some sort of election conference or something like elective conference or of some sort, just like the ANC, maybe Floyd wouldn't have really made it into becoming the Secretary General of the MKP. So it's very complex, but at the same time, understandably so. Let me be Duduzile for a minute now. If I am Duduzile, no one will fire me in my father's political party. Not when I was there, when it was started, it was initiated, during the inception and drafting of everything and planning and, all of that. Duduzile has been on the ground. Duduzile has been the most influential, instrumental person that was there, or has at least been there when the party was started, and she went through a lot with her dad, by the way. So I somehow, yes, she might be childish, but at the same time, we need to consider also that part that, listen, when she's having maybe some dissatisfactions, which are maybe certain decisions which are being taken either by her dad or by anyone in that party for that matter, she should raise them. And if she's trying to raise them and no one is listening, she will go to Twitter handle and swear at them and expose them, by the way. Floyd was saying he wouldn't really comment on the matter. I'm coming to realize that now, if you don't have a dream, you'll pursue other people's dreams. If Floyd started his political party, maybe things could have been a little bit different, because you cannot have a vision into someone's dream. You need to start your own dream so you can have a vision towards reaching your dream. Meaning that you cannot come into the MKP and wants to initiate your own vision into the MKP. The MKP was going wherever it was going, with its chaotic leadership and no constituency, things like that. And now, if you want to say you want to envision things within that political party, and whereas you're having people like Duduzile, you're going to have a lot of issues, because she will constantly act as a force, I don't know, of repulsion. I don't know how to put it. More like opposing everything that you are trying to do, and it's not going to be easy. It's very difficult to actually operate in that space, and I'm very worried about Floyd, because the chances of staying in that kind of toxic environment are very slim. So we stand to see, and there continues to be chaos also in Mpumalanga, where there's two conveners, Phadi and Busisiwe,
Mkhwebane fighting for power. There's two centers of power there. And Phadi, by the way, has got more influence than Busisiwe Mkhwebane. So there's two camps also in Mpumalanga. So you can imagine the chaos that are being created by the same MKP members, because the same thing that happened, Phadi has been there when the party was struggling and all of that. And all of a sudden, they parachuted Busisiwe Mkhwebane because she was a public protector, she's well known, and now they parachuted her into a position. It's not going to go on like that. Let them at least rather have elective conferences then, because this thing will cause chaos, and then people like Duduzile will not keep quiet. They will keep blowing and exposing them, and they will be embarrassed, and the party will not be able to actually move forward, to progress, as much as they call themselves a progressive caucus. They are calling black people to come together and all of that. And by the way, honestly speaking, like I always say, that I don't believe in political parties, because their leaders are, in the first place, captured. They are having handlers, their masters, who are telling them what to do and how to do things and all of that. So they can't be claiming to be fighting for black people when we know that Msholozi was there, was a president, and he did absolutely nothing. Black people continued to be poor, and only certain people who were aligned to him, who were having close proximity to him, were having access to tenders and everything. So the system is just corrupted. And then I don't see them actually doing anything of substance. Even if they win elections, outright majority, for heaven's sake, maybe if we dream for a second, they will not change anything. Those are disgruntled ANC members who were comfortable during the Zuma era, who were benefiting, who were having tenders. And when Cyril Ramaphosa came, he cancelled everything. So they started to be hungry now, and now their common senses started to work now, to say, hey, listen, comrade, we need to liberate black people and all of that. I don't buy into their story, and I've said it many times, by the way, that political parties, I don't really believe in them. I don't know what to take squatters, but I don't buy into what they are saying. And also the issue of discipline is just a dream. It's fallacy. It's something that wouldn't really materialize, because how do you discipline someone like Duduzile in her father's political party? It's not possible. It's not possible. So it's a futile exercise. Floyd, we wish him all the best. Let him keep dreaming, but I don't see him coming all right on that part. I don't know, squatters, you'll have your view on this issue, but it continues to unfold. And for the fact that MKP is trying to ignore the issue of Dr. Hlophe and Phadi sex scandal, we can call it sex scandal, by the way, allegations of sexual advances or whatsoever. So it begs the question of professionalism and being able to differentiate between business and pleasure, because your colleague remains your colleague, or your business partner remains your business partner. So if you cross that line into now intimacy, or into a sexual, interaction, or those kind of things, that's actually crossing the line of now business into pleasure. So it's always questionable when it comes to those kind of things. I think the party should have a very strong constituency whereby also sexual harassment is also taken seriously, because they can't discipline Dr. Hlophe because he's a deputy president whatsoever. So this issue will drag for the longest time, and actually Phadi will cause a huge damage in the Mpumalanga province if they don't take her seriously, if they don't pay attention to her queries and all of that. She will definitely cause chaos there in Mpumalanga. And by the way, Busisiwe Mkhwebane is it's a statue there because she doesn't have influence, she doesn't have a political
strong base that she can actually rely on, because not really people like her. And I think if they went to the elective conference, like I'm saying, in politics, there should be something like that so that people get to be elected. I think she wouldn't have actually came to her position. Some people are in positions in the MKP just because they were parachuted into, so it's more like you are being appointed, like you are employed. It's a contract of employment. So it's not actually a fair competition where everyone gets to participate and now the winner takes it all. So I think it could have been at least kind of better if Floyd also went through the same process. But we stand to see. And also for the MKP to have a lot of Zumas, the family, I think it makes it look more like a family stokvel, not a political party. But I believe they can still structure that political party, to have proper headquarters and to structure everything, and not to put Zumas in positions. All the Zumas should be there, in key positions and all of that. Look now what happened. 60 million or even more than that is unaccounted for, has disappeared, and no one knows where it is. They're saying they're investigating and all of that. And if they can steal from themselves, what's going to happen when they get into government? So from a sober point of view, we need to also look at those kind of issues and be able to stretch them further to say, do we really stand better chances? But politics in South Africa, according to me, is really contaminated because you need to be subjected to a political party in order to be a politician. You need to be a politician to become a president and all of that. I think they really need to change, especially the IEC, to change the whole system, because the game is not favorable to many of us. We need change, and we can see that with these political parties, there won't be any kind of change. So we need change that will actually accommodate everyone. People should be able to nominate or to elect the councillors in townships of their choice without fear or favor, personally. So that, listen, we think this person, there are people who are philanthropists, ekas in townships, who are there always burying people who don't have funeral covers and all of that. Those are the people we can nominate as councillors, because we can see the role they are playing in our communities. Unlike having a councillor who's staying there at the suburbs, in the northern suburbs, who's not even staying in townships, and the sewage systems are leaking, everything is just falling apart. The transformers have exploded and all of that, and so he can't fix anything because he's not there. He's not party to anything that is happening in the townships. All that he gets is salaries and tenders and all of that. All that they know is to fight for tenders in townships and assassinate people and all of that. It's gangsterism. Anyway, that is why I always say I don't really want to be anywhere closer to tenders, because the tendering system which Thabo Mbeki signed in 2000 has actually cost many people their lives. And so it's so sad, to live in a country whereby no one listens. Even the leaders, they do as they please. They get away with so many things, and they don't listen to their own citizens. The very same people who vote for them, they don't listen to them. They don't want to hear anything from them. All that they think is to bring them smaller groceries when it's election times, bring their Mercedes-Benz G-Wagons and park inside the sewage system where there's leakage and sewage is just flowing on the street. And once election, and from there they leave in their convoys. It's more like a wedding. A wedding is a one-day thing. In township, we know that we're gonna see a lot of convoy, and there's hooting, there's everything, there's food just for that particular day. But if you go the next day, there's no tent, there's nothing, and there's no food that's left. So it's more like elections are treated in that manner. So the only difference is that they happen every 5 years. But we are so concerned about how politics is being actually presented to us as black South Africans, because we can see that we're not going to get anywhere. We're still going to live on hopes. We're still going to live in dreams and hopes that will never be realized and all of that. So it's very much concerning. But Floyd being in the MKP, trying to restructure it, to build it, it's going to be very difficult, because as much as there's two camps there, those who were there when it was formed and those who were parachuted into positions, because now, it is having that vibe and all of that. It's worrisome. Anyway, squatters, will hear from you. Those who have not subscribed, please continue to subscribe. Thank you very much for watching my content. Sharp Squatters.